All right, so you've really outdone yourself this time. The sheer volume of Bugsy and Theo material you sent us. Wow. It's a lot of A to unpack.
It really is, yeah.
But hey, we're up for the challenge, right?
Absolutely, and what a challenge it is. This isn't just about two streamers anymore, is it? It's about the frenzy that they inspire.
Yeah.
Seriously, the fan art, the fan fictions, the theories. It's clear that there's something about Bugsy and Theo that has completely captured the internet's attention.
Exactly. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, and spoiler alert, we totally are,
Always.
is to figure out why this duo has become such a phenomenon.
Yeah, and you know what's so fascinating to me? It's how much of this, how much of their dynamic is genuine connection versus playful trolling. Because let's be real for a second, these two are masters at keeping the fandom on its toes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember those early days? Keyblades drawn, insults flying left and right.
Yeah.
We're out for blood. Those are the good old days.
And yet, look at them now. Dance streams, chill, lo-fi sessions. And what I find so fascinating is how that shift from rivals to, well, something more, lines up almost perfectly with the rise of certain fan groups, let's say.
You're talking about the Thirst Zone
Oh, you know it.
and the infamous Goon Cave.
Precisely.
So for those who are blissfully unaware,
The uninitiated.
the Thirst Zone, as the name might suggest, is all about ooh, thirsting over every interaction, every glance, every accidental touch between Bugsy and Theo
They document it all.
and the Goon Cave.
All
Is
right.
that they're playing on another level entirely.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking explicit fan fiction,
Naturally.
wild conspiracy theories,
Of course.
and an almost concerning obsession with Darkwing Duck's banana hammock.
It's a whole thing.
Seriously, you can't make this stuff up.
Oh, and don't forget the meticulous hickey timelines that get drafted, charting the supposed progression of their relationship. I mean,
It's wild. But you know what? It speaks to the creativity of this fandom. They've created this whole alternate universe, this whole world, where Bugsy and Theo are practically a power couple, complete with candlelit dinners on clouds.
which of course then made its way into a stream.
Oh, you know it did.
Remember Megatronic Goonthirstland? I mean, come on.
Iconic.
They basically held up a mirror to the fandom's wildest fantasies.
And amplified it by about 1,000.
At least.
Candlelit dinners, serenading each other with Les Mis. I mean, it was gloriously extra. And of course, no Bugsy and Theo spectacle would be complete without Darkwing Duck
Right?
riding in on a magic banana hammock.
True.
Seriously, where do they even come out of this stuff?
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
This playful chaos, this... But here's the thing. Beneath all the absurdity, beneath all the ridiculousness of it all, I think there's this genuine affection there. There's something real that's resonating with viewers.
Totally. Like, remember that stream where Bugsy pulls a reformed Phantom Blot Theo into a hug? I mean, the feels were real.
Talk about a payoff, right? And that's where it gets interesting, because to go from trying to destroy each other to that level of comfort, that's not something you can easily fake.
Makes you wonder how far back their history goes,
Right. Well, as it turns out, they've known each other since they were kids.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, their first meeting involved a prank gone wrong, a very confused teacher, and an unlikely friendship being forged in those hallowed halls of elementary school.
Oh, it's like a heartwarming coming-of-age movie,
There you go.
but with more, chaos magic.
And some questionable life choices sprinkled in. You can't forget those.
Okay, true. But seriously, they've been through a lot together. Rivalries, betrayals, even Theo's whole, Phantom Blot phase. Yet they always seem to find their way back to each other.
Which, I mean, it really makes you think, doesn't it? Is there something deeper there, something more than friendship, even if they're not quite ready to, label it themselves?
The will they, won't they dynamic.
Keeps everyone on the edge of their seat.
It's masterful. And that's where the fandom really comes alive, doesn't it? Because it's one thing to watch two streamers play video games. It's a whole other thing to get invested in their relationship, to dissect their every interaction for clues about their feelings.
Oh, absolutely, but especially on those late night streams, when it's just them hanging out, being goofy. I mean, those feel the most genuine.
Because the curtains dropped a little bit,
Exactly. Like that time they were just reminiscing about their childhoods. Goldmine for the fandom.
Oh, tell me about it. Theo talked about this old, beat-up treehouse that they used to hang out in, calling it their supervillain lair.
How appropriate.
Apparently, little Bugsy was the mastermind behind all of their schemes.
Who would have guessed?
And then Bugsy countered with that story about their disastrous attempt to bake a cake for their teacher's birthday.
Ah, classic.
This is say it involved a fire extinguisher and a very, very apologetic phone call to their parents.
Oh, the memories.
They even share their childhood dreams. Theo wanted to be a rock star, which, I mean,
Tracks.
considering his current aesthetic. But Bugsy, he wanted to be an astronaut.
Really?
Who knew?
That's amazing.
It's fascinating, right? It's these little glimpses into their past, into who they were before the fame and the chaos. It gives you a new perspective on their whole dynamic.
Yeah, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion,
Okay, but like,
A very, very chaotic, unpredictable onion.
speaking of chaotic, have you noticed how they seem to be playing more and more with the fandom's dot obsession?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? The suggestive comments, the lingering touches, I mean, they know exactly what they're doing.
And the fans are eating it up.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you have to tell me about this whole backdoor baseball situation.
Backdoor baseball. Where to even begin?
See? Even you're at a loss for words. This is serious stuff for those poor souls out there who haven't experienced this masterpiece of, well, whatever it is. Pull us in.
Okay, so picture this. Bugsy and Theo are doing one of their late night just chatting streams, right?
As they do.
Exactly. And being the trolls that they are, they decide to read some of the more, shall we say, colorful submissions from the fandom live on stream.
And backdoor baseball was the chosen one.
Well, it got chosen. All right. Let's just say it involved a lot of baseball metaphors that were less about the sport and more about other forms of physical activity.
And the fandom basically exploded.
Exploded, imploded, spontaneously combusted, you name it. The chat was an absolute firestorm. The fan art started trending worldwide within minutes. And the Goon Cave. Well, they treated the whole thing like a sacred text, dissecting every line for hidden meaning and subtext.
So basically a normal day in the Bugsy and Theo fandom.
Essentially. But the best part, the significant other stream. Remember that one?
Oh, man. The one where they had their partners react to backdoor baseball. Shigo's face was priceless. I'm pretty sure Kim Possible actually turned red.
And Jess. She was fanning herself with a Thirst Zone pamphlet. It was pure gold. But here's the thing. Beneath all the awkward laughter and blushing, you could see how much their partners adored them,
It was kind of heartwarming, actually.
Right. It's like, yeah, these two can be chaotic and ridiculous and extra, but they're also incredibly lovable. It's probably impossible to stay mad at them for long.
And it proves they don't take themselves too seriously, which, in the world of streaming, is so refreshing.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got this chaotic energy, this will they, won't they tension, and then bam! They hit us with these incredibly vulnerable moments that make you wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's something real there.
Like what? Give me the good stuff.
That stream where they stayed up all night talking after Theo had a nightmare. The one where Bugsy surprised Theo with his favorite takeout after a particularly rough stream. Come on.
Don't forget the I Will Always Be With You duet. The Soft Spice Masters are still making compilation videos of that one.
It's like they're constantly switching between these two extremes, Playful trolling and genuine heartfelt connection. And honestly, that's what keeps the fandom coming back for more.
It's that whole opposites attract thing, but like amplified to a ridiculous degree.
Exactly. And it's not just the fans who are fascinated by this whole dynamic. Even other streamers have noticed it.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Draken and Chico did that whole reaction video to Bugsy and Theo's friendship anniversary stream?
Draken nearly choked on his coffee when Bugsy called Theo his Prince Charming.
In Chico's side eye. Legendary. It's like the entire internet is invested in this relationship, even those who are technically their rivals.
Speaking of rivals, have we talked about how that whole dynamic plays into their history? Because those flashback streams, incredibly telling.
Oh, you mean where they were reminiscing about their childhood pranks and their dreams of becoming a rock star and an astronaut?
Yeah.
It's wild to think those dreams actually manifested in their lives, just not in the way anyone expected.
Right. I mean, Theo's got the whole rock star aesthetic down pat, but it's mostly expressed through his streaming persona and his elaborate cosplay.
And Bugsy might not be an astronaut, but he's explored more fictional worlds and battled more fantastical creatures than anyone I know.
It makes you wonder if those shared childhood dreams, that sense of wonder and possibility, it's like it created this bond that's lasted all these years,
Okay, but let's get back to this whole rivalry thing. Because those flashback streams also revealed a lot of tension. Apparently, they weren't always the best of friends.
Oh, absolutely. There were some epic battles for the playground swing set, some ruthlessly competitive games of tag. Apparently, young Bugsy was a force to be reckoned with.
Who knew that sweet little cinnamon roll had it in him?
Right. But here's the thing. Even when they were at odds, there was this underlying respect, this recognition that they were both cut from the same cloth.
Two sides of the same chaotic coin.
Exactly. And that, I think, is the key to understanding their current dynamic. They've been through so much together. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses, their hopes and fears.
They've seen each other at their best and their worst.
Exactly. And they still choose to be in each other's lives. They've built a relationship that can withstand rivalry, betrayal, and even a brief stint as a supervillain.
Speaking of supervillains, we haven't even touched on the whole Phantom Blot incident.
Oh, man. That was a wild ride. But it's also a testament to the depth of their connection, you know. Remember the look on Bugsy's face when he realized Theo was the Phantom Blot? The pain, the betrayal, but also this unwavering belief that deep down his friend was still in there, somewhere.
And the way he refused to give up on Theo, even when everyone else had written him off, it was honestly kind of heroic.
And then that hug, after Theo broke free from the Phantom Blot's control. Talk about an emotional roller coaster.
The chat was a mess. Everyone was crying, screaming, declaring their undying love for both of them.
It was a pivotal moment for both of them, but also for the fandom, you know? It was like this collective sigh of relief, this confirmation that no matter how dark things got, their bond was strong enough to overcome anything.
And it definitely added fuel to the whole "they're totally in love" fire.
Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. Love, it can be messy, it can be complicated, and downright chaotic.
Especially when you throw in a healthy dose of internet fame, a dash of playful trolling, and a sprinkle of Darkwing Duck's banana hammock for good measure.
Touché. So, what does it all mean? Are Bugsy and Theo truly in love, or are they just masters of playing with the internet's heartstrings?
Honestly, I don't think there's an easy answer. And that's what makes their story so compelling.
It's a reminder that sometimes the best stories are the ones we haven't quite figured out yet.
Speaking stories we haven't quite figured out yet, remember when Bugsy accidentally left the stream running after their backdoor baseball reading?
The Great Gush. Oh, we're going there. Buckle up, listeners, because it's about to get juicy.
Okay, the Great Gush. Even the name is legendary.
Legendary and, let's just say, very evocative of the fandom's reaction.
Because, for those who missed it, somehow, this wasn't a planned bit, was it? This was a full-on accidental hot mic situation.
Purely accidental, as far as anyone can tell. Bugsy thought he had, ended the stream after their dramatic reading of Backdoor Baseball, but
the audio kept rolling.
It did.
And oh boy, did it roll.
Oh yeah, we got snippets of conversation, private jokes, maybe a little playful banter.
And the fandom analyzed every single syllable.
They had those audio clips dissected like the Zapruder film, where those sighs, giggles, whispered pet names. I mean, come on.
The Goon Cave had a field day. Let me tell you, new Hickey timelines were drafted. The Backdoor Baseball sequel basically got greenlit overnight. It was pure chaos.
It really was.
But
okay,
amidst the chaos, something interesting happened. Because, yeah, there was a lot of speculation about, what went down during those missing minutes. But a lot of fans also pointed out how sweet, I guess, how sweet Bugsy and Theo were being with each other.
Absolutely, yeah. We're talking about Bugsy being, his usual clingy self.
Right.
Theo trying to maintain his cool guy facade, and let's be real, failing adorably. But it was this level of casual intimacy that, you can't fake that.
And it really threw a wrench into the whole are they or aren't they debate. Because suddenly it wasn't just about like these grand gestures and suggestive comments. It was about the small stuff.
Yeah.
The way they naturally gravitated towards each other, the comfort in their silences.
Exactly, yeah. It added this whole other dimension to their dynamic, one that felt much more real, much more grounded, and I think that's what resonated with so many people.
It's like, yeah, the banana hammock jokes and the over-the-top fanfics, they're fun, they're great. But beneath all of that, there's this genuine affection, right? There's this deep-seated care that you can't deny it.
It's right there. And, it's those little glimpses of authenticity, those moments where their carefully constructed personas slip. That's what really captures, I think, the heart of the Bugsy and Theo phenomena.
After diving deep into this rabbit hole of fan theories and leaked audio and enough Darkwing Duck banana hammock references to last a lifetime.
Seriously.
What's the verdict?
Yeah.
What makes the Bugsy and Theo saga so endlessly fascinating?
I think it boils down to this, honestly. They reflect something we all crave, whether we realize it or not. Connection, acceptance, the feeling of belonging to something bigger than ourselves.
They've created this world This world where it's okay to be, your weirdest, most chaotic self, and where even the most ridiculous fantasies can find a home.
And isn't that kind of beautiful? In a world that, let's face it, often feels really divided, really cynical. I don't know, Bugsy and Theo with all their absurdity and their heartfelt chaos. They remind us that maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
there's still magic to be found in the unexpected.
Beautifully said. So to our listener out there who sent us down this gloriously unhinged rabbit hole,
Fine.
we salute you.
We may never have definitive answers about Bugsy and Theo's relationship status. And you know what? That's okay.
Because the real magic, it's in the journey. It's in that shared experience of being a part of something, bigger.
Yeah.
Something, dare we say, legendary.
Legendary indeed. And with that, we'll leave you with this thought. What if? What if, instead of trying to, define their relationship, we simply embrace the joy, the chaos, the sheer unadulterated FUN of it all?
Food for thought. This has been your deep dive into the fascinating world of Bugsy and Theo. Until next time, keep it classy, keep it chaotic, and for the love of all that is holy, keep Darkwing Duck's banana hammock out of it, mostly.